大家来到上海国际赛道，与我们一起参与2019年亚洲保时捷卡雷拉杯的最后一个比赛周末。我是本次赛季的主持人 Sammie， 我将会和 Steve Dawson 一起给大家带来比赛的最新报道。经过了7个月和6个国家，我们又再次回到了上海来进行这个赛季的压轴赛事。目前的比赛总成绩来说，暂时专业组由车手菲利普领先，而车手马丁则以34分之差紧随在后，而绅士组则由车手包金龙暂时领先。待会的比赛将会十分的紧张与刺激，究竟谁能够先夺得这个关键周末的首场胜利，将会十分令人期待。请大家务必留守我们的频道，以关注待会的精彩赛事。Hello everyone and welcome to Shanghai International Circuit for the final race weekend of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2019. I'm your host Sammie, and with my dearest co-host Steve Dawson, we will bring you the excitement of the race together. On this decisive weekend, we are very excited to be back here at Shanghai, where it all had started, and we certainly can't wait to see who will be crowned champion, as we have Philipp Hemprecht and Martin Ragginger, who are both competing for their first champion in the Carrera Cup. So Steve, perhaps it's time to tell us, how did the qualifying round went this morning?
It was a critical qualifying session, wasn't it? The gap between Ragginger and Hemprecht is 34 points. Hemprecht in the lead. There are 42 points on the table, so 20 points for a race win, an additional point for the fastest lap. So multiply that by 2, because we've got 2 races today, and that's 42 points. So very important for Ragginger to get on pole position today. Well, he didn't manage it. Hemprecht was quicker, in fact. Ragginger starts in 3rd, Hemprecht is in 2nd, and it's Will Bamber who took pole position.
Wow, that's certainly very exciting. So be sure to follow the action on our official website at CarreraCupAsia.com. But before we jump into the race, let's hear what our pole sitters, Will Bamber and Antares Al, has to say from the qualifying rounds.
The first time that event has ever been staged, and Porsche Carrera Cup Asia will be there among them. Shanghai then hosts round 2. Is that Nam To Chang, a circuit in Thailand that we've not visited since 2016? And the fabulous streets.
欢迎大家来到2019年亚洲保时捷卡雷拉杯第2回合的精彩赛事。我是本次赛季的主持人 Sammie。今天我们非常高兴，终于来到了这让人期待万分的日本铃鹿国际赛道，进行此赛季的第1场现场直播。告诉你们，这个将会是一个非常激动人心的比赛，因为这是第1次亚洲保时捷卡雷拉杯来到这赛场进行比赛之余，是第1次与日本保时捷卡雷拉杯同场竞技，可以说是一场非常精彩的对决。那当然，在我的身边也有初次登场的 Steve Dawson。从今天开始，他会和我一起组织2019年的赛季，给大家带来比赛的最新消息。Hello everyone and welcome to round 2 of Porsche Carrera Asia. My name is Sammie and I am your host for the season. Finally, we are here at the iconic Suzuka circuit for the first live show of the year. And also, it is also the first time ever Porsche Carrera Cup Asia visit this historical circuit, and also racing alongside with Porsche Carrera Cup Japan for the first time this year. Surely it's going to be a spectacular race weekend. And of course, next to me is my firstly joined together with my co-host, Steve Dawson, who will be with us for the rest of the season. Hello, Steve. Welcome on board. Lots of firsts in this weekend.
Me first this weekend, and thank you for that lovely welcome. Yeah, no question about it. I've been chatting to some of the drivers. To a man, they are all delighted to be here at this iconic circuit. I love some of the faces. You're super excited. Iconic circuit for sure. They're really looking forward to weaving their way through these famous S-curves. Couple of races this weekend. The first one is today. That's round 2 of the season. We've got round 3 tomorrow, but just the one qualifying session. Now, the quickest time in that 20 minutes puts himself on pole for today's race. Wow. Then they put together the second fastest times among all of the drivers, and that determines the grid for tomorrow's race. So all of that managed in one session over a 20-minute period.
Yeah,
as you can imagine, quite intense, but nothing like as intense as we're going to have in our 2 races here, because, as you indicated, Porsche Carrera Cup Japan is on the same track at the same time. Now, our Japanese drivers will tear away about 40 seconds before the Porsche Asia Carrera Cup drivers will. It'll be switched around tomorrow, but today, for example, that could easily mean that our pole sitter and our front runners among the Asia drivers catch up some of the back markers from among the Japanese drivers. Now, that could easily mean that there'll be a little bit of confusion, perhaps for our commentator, maybe some bumping and bruising, but plenty of excitement, that's for sure, for you, for me, you guys at home and the drivers intermingled with a little bit of stress perhaps. But look, one thing's for sure, Sammie, we're going to have a really compelling weekend of racing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's absolutely right. So don't forget to follow exciting action on our official website, which is carreracupasia.com. 那当然呢，在精彩绝伦的赛里，也少不了我们专业的解说员 Matt Koch。但在我们把比赛交给 Matt 之前，我们先来看看上个月我们在上海进行的一些精彩回顾。And of course, joining us today will be Matt Koch, who will be commentating the action for the entire season. But before we pass it back to Matt, let us have a look at the greatest moment of the opening round in Shanghai last month.
欢迎大家再次回到日本富士国际赛道，我是本次赛季的主持人 Sammie， 和我一同主持的有 Steve Dawson， 我们将会一起给大家带来赛季的最新报道。现在我们已经来到了今年在日本最后一场的比赛，也就是亚洲保时捷卡迪拉杯第5回合的比赛了，很快的就要开始。那么今天早些时候呢，我们已经看到了一个非常激动人心的比赛。尽管车手马丁在比赛前期超越了车手范德瑞和威廉，遥遥领先在前方，获得了稳定的胜利之余，但是在后方的车手们，包括范德瑞、威廉和菲利普，则在比赛后期为了亚军的这个竞争啊，实在是非常激烈，3个人的实力都势均力敌，不相上下。当然，最后呢，还是由范德瑞成功的守住了该回合的亚军，并由威廉获得了该比赛的季军。那么待会的比赛呢，将会再次由车手威廉在杆位开始比赛，那么想必又再会上演一场激烈无比的竞争，所以各位朋友一定要继续留守这门火热的赛事。Hello everyone and welcome back to Fuji International Speedway. I'm your host Sammie, and once again with my dearest co-host Steve Dawson, we will be bringing the excitement of the race to you. So be sure to follow us at our official website at carreracupasia.com. So being the last race in Japan this year for Porsche Car Cup Asia, round 5 is certainly ready to kick off with such a beautiful weather. And especially early on this morning, we have watched a fierce battle between Chris van der Drift, Will Bamber and Philip Hamprecht while they're competing for the second place. But at last, Chris had managed brilliantly to defend his second place, with Will finishing third and Philip a very close fourth. Martin Ragginger won the race with an excellent performance with his advantage at the beginning of the race. But later on, since Will Bamber will begin at the pole position once again, Steve, I believe later on it's going to be another battle with a fierce fight as well.
It really should be very exciting. I think everybody probably acknowledges now that Will Bamber made a bit of an error, getting too caught up in what the guy alongside him was doing, and that's Chris van der Drift. Coming over laterally, he allowed Martin Ragginger to come through with tremendous power, and Ragginger is very, very quick this weekend. So I think Will have spent the last couple of hours or so watching the tape and reviewing what he did, and given that he's on pole once again, he'll be looking to make sure that that error, if that's what we're going to call it, doesn't happen again. If anything, we've got just as compelling a session amongst our Pro-Am drivers. We've got Francis Jia on pole once again. This time he'll have even more of a challenge from Bao Jinlong, because he's right alongside him this afternoon. Earlier this morning, he was 3 places behind him on the grid. They'll both suffer a bit of competition from Li Chao. He had problems with his tyres this morning, but he should have a lot more traction in those rubbers this afternoon. So weather-wise, gorgeous. We've got about, 10% cloud cover. The sun is pouring through. Track temperatures should be quite hot, and things should get a bit tacky when the rubber hits the tarmac.
Yeah, exactly. So this race is certainly worth to watch, so stay with us. But now, before that, let's have a look at the racing highlights for this morning.
Race 1 this morning got underway in bright blue skies. A damp patch or two out on the circuit. Brilliant start from Martin Ragginger in the number 86 red and white car. On the right-hand side of the screen, swept into the lead. Chris van der Drift slotting into second, as further back a little bit of drama ensued. Will Bamber dropped from pole position to 3rd place at the opening turn. Yui Tan picked up a little bit of damage, so too Antares Au, which would end his day a little bit early. He is back out there for race 2 this afternoon though. Brief interruption was then led away by Martin Ragginger at the restart. Chris van der Drift in second, Will Bamber in third, and Philip Hamprecht in fourth. Van der Drift had a little bit of a look at turn 1, Martin Ragginger, but that's about as close as he got for the remainder of the race. The Austrian then began to scamper clear, as Chris van der Drift instead had to deal with a rearguard action versus Will Bamber. The two New Zealanders waged war throughout the race. It was an elbow-to-elbow race all the way to the checkered flag. Will Bamber had the advantage briefly as they rounded turn 15. He sent it up the inside in the early stages, catching Chris van der Drift unawares. This is the move. Chris van der Drift takes the racing line. Will Bamber seizes his opportunity, carves down the inside, takes second place, albeit momentarily. It was then a drag race down this long front straight. Chris van der Drift pulled alongside. Philip Hamprecht bought into this one as well, and they ran 3 wide down the front straight, not for the first time in this race and not for the last time either. In the braking zone, Chris van der Drift managed to pull it up while Philip Hamprecht and Will Bamber both ran wide. From second back to fourth, back to second in a heartbeat for the New Zealander. That would then happen again the next time around. This trio really swapping places lap by lap. Will Bamber locking the rears, Chris van der Drift doing brilliantly at turn 6 to just open the steering and give his rival this racing space that he needed. He then held on to that advantage as they accelerated down the hill towards turn 10. This all allowed Martin Radinger out front to scamper clear. Ultimately, he won by nearly 5 seconds. It was a little bit more than that. He eased off at the checkered flag. It was Chris van der Drift in second, Will Bamber in third. Francis Cha was the first of our Pro-Am competitors home, taking his second win of 2019. There is Martin Radinger celebrating in pit lane.
Daniel Schmollinger is with me, Vice President of Marketing for Porsche China. Welcome, Daniel. 17 years, we've had so much success in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. What do you think it means for the wider Porsche brand?
Well, it means a lot to us. Globally,
欢迎大家来到上海国际赛道，与我们参与2019年亚洲保时捷卡雷拉杯的最后一场比赛。我是本次赛季的主持人，和我一同主持的有 Steve Dawson， 我们将会一起给大家带来比赛的最新报道。经过了刚才第13回合的比赛，车手威廉在出乎意料之外获得了本周末的首场胜利。待会的决赛，他也将会再次从杆位开始，就要看他是否能够夺得这个周末的第2场胜利。另外，本次赛季的总冠军在专业组已经出炉了，恭喜来自追星车队的车手菲利普成为了2019年赛季的总冠军。但是尽管如此，绅士组的总冠军还暂且未定，不管是车手包金龙、车手法拉木还是车手谢汉耀，都皆有可能会获胜。所以请大家务必留守我们的频道，以关注待会的精彩赛事。Hello everyone, and once again, welcome back to Shanghai International Circuit for the grand finale of the Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2019. I'm your host Sammie, and with me is my dearest co-host Steve Dawson to bring you the excitement of the race. Early on today, Will Bamber managed to win the race with his advantage being on pole, and later he will be starting on pole again. Let's see if he will win the final race of the season with him being on pole. But nevertheless, we have already crowned the champion of the season for our overall class. Congratulations to Philip Hamprecht from Team Star Chase. But yet, we have yet crowned the champion of the season for the Pro-Am class. So stay with us and we will find out later. So now, Steve, enough of the teasing. Run us through about the exciting race earlier on this afternoon.
Well, Philip Hamprecht did enough to win the Drivers' Championship, and a huge smile on his face afterwards. He said that he'll just enjoy this second race of the day, but there's still a big race to be won, and Philip is in P4. We've got Will Bamber on pole once again, as you said, and Martin Radinger right alongside him. Meanwhile, there's still a championship to be won among the Pro-Ams, and we have an excellent opportunity for Bao Jinlong, who is really up there, determined to take the title with this race, and all he has to do really is just stay on the track effectively. We've got a wonderful opportunity for Daniel Lu Wenlong, who is in P3. He was in on the front row in Singapore, so wonderful development for him towards the end of the season. We'll track his progress and hope to get a word with him in a few moments.
Exactly. Be sure not to miss the grand finale by following our action at our official website at CarreraCupAsia.com. So now let us pass it back to our English commentator Matt Koch and our Chinese commentator Nick Zhang.
Thanks, Sammie and Steve. And here we go. We're getting ready for the final race of the 2019 Porsche Carrera Cup Asia campaign. Let's take a look at the Shanghai International Circuit. 5.4 kilometres the journey, 16 turns. There's a little bit of everything here. Long straights, fast sweeping corners, and curves that seem to go on forever. Turns 1 and 2 feed into one another. And turn 3, look for lots of side-by-side action through there. Turn 6, good opportunity to make a move under brake. So too at turn 11 if you're brave. And then down the long back straight at turn 14, probably the best overtaking opportunity on the circuit. Turn 16, if you get it wrong in turn 14, you'll pay the price there. Someone could nip up the inside and seal a run on you as you make the charge to the checkered flag. That is the challenge that awaits our drivers. 12 laps will be the journey. Plenty of action still to come. We're going to go down to Steve Dawson, who is on the grid, soaking up the atmosphere down there. He's got an interview for us as we prepare for the final round.
欢迎大家来到日本富士国际赛道亚洲保时捷卡雷拉杯第4回合的比赛，很快就要火热的开始。我是本次赛季的主持人 Sammie， 和我一同主持的有 Steve Dawson， 将会一起给大家带来本次赛季的最新报道。很快的，今天已经来到了亚洲保时捷卡雷拉杯的第3个比赛周末，继上回合在日本铃鹿国际赛道，再加上这一次在日本富士的赛道的比赛，将会有着戏剧性的变化。由于昨天的气候不佳，基于安全考量因素，官方被迫减少比赛回合的数量。但是综合来说，我们还是从昨天的排位赛中观赏到了一场非常有挑战性的比赛。那今天呢，基于气候的优势，想必所有的车手们都将会把握机会，再次一决高下。所以各位朋友一定要继续关注我们的比赛。Hello everyone and welcome to Fuji International Speedway. I am Sammie, your host, and alongside with my dearest co-host Steve Dawson, we will bring you the excitement of the race together. Be sure to follow the action on our official website at CarreraCupAsia.com. So this is our 3rd race weekend of the season, and the battle has already reached a fever pitch. Especially these 2 weeks in both Suzuka and Fuji are a fueling weekend for us. So yesterday the weather was terrible, and due to force majeure, the organizing committee has to decide to reduce the number of races this weekend. But nevertheless, we still managed to see a heated battle between the drivers from yesterday's qualifying session. So Steve, maybe talk us through the wet qualifying session about yesterday.
Yeah, first thing to say is, look, beautiful weather today so far. I think you can see blue sky behind us. 2 races today. The first one, well, we're building you up to that one now. The second one takes place later on this Sunday. Qualifying yesterday determined the positions on the grid for all the drivers in both of the races today. Will Bamber was quickest, 1/1000th of a second faster than Chris van der Drift. Now, I got my calculator out this morning, and that equates to the top speed to around 6.5 millimeters, which is about that much, so really not a very big margin at all. The extent to which that form yesterday carries over to today, though, is doubtful, because we had horrible conditions yesterday. Dark clouds, raining all day. Today we've got blue sky, even over the cameraman's head, and up there above the hills we can see a little bit of blue sky, and the weather forecast tells us that that will get better as the day goes on. Among the amateur drivers, well, Bao Jinglong was quickest, but on his last qualifying lap he bumped into Li Chao, and a couple of hours ago we heard that he's been penalised 3 places on the grid. That means that Francis Chia will take pole position today and in the later race, so let's just hope that this weather holds together, Sammie.
Exactly. So now let's take a look at yesterday's racing highlights for the qualifying session.
So qualifying got underway yesterday. Dark grey skies. Thankfully the rain held off. Tricky conditions out there. So Yue headed the field out of pit lane. Following him was Philip Hamprecht and Will Bamber. Tricky conditions. Everyone looking for a clear bit of track to find the ideal racing line. Looking to pick their apexes, their turn-in points. Weather conditions changing all the time as the field is 24 Porsche Carrera Cup Asia cars streamed out. Little incident early in the session. Benny Simonson and Ahmed F. Alam just about found the same bit of track. Managed to avoid contact in that instance. Ahmed F. Alam opened the door and waved Benny Simonson through. Dane will start this one. Theoretical, he'll start out of P4. Did a good job. A lot of drivers running wide at turn 3. The tricky conditions really carrying them wide as they took to turn 3, carrying that minimum apex speed, using the big wide runoff area there. Daniel Liu went long in that instance, running off track. Francis Cha, he will start on pole position, qualified second in Pro-Am class, will start off the Pro-Am class pole. That is 10th position overall. Fabulous job from the man who won in Shanghai in the opening round of 2019. See the conditions ever changing throughout this one. They got darker midway through the session. Bouncing long was rapid out there, and this was the talking point of the session. 2 wheels on the painted curb, collided with the back end of Li Chao, and that's the penalty that Steve Dawson mentioned off the top. That's dropped him 3 places on the grid. Chris Vanderdrift in the number 1 car starts out of second, just 1/1000th of a second, 6.5 millimeters between he and pole sitter Will Bamber. Nothing in it. The closest qualifying session in Porsche Carrera Cup Asia history. The number 12 car, Will Bamber. That is the man that will start on pole position. So that's the way qualifying went down. A little bit more. Let's throw down to Steve Dawson, who's got some interviews for us from the grid.
Tomohiko Ito is with me, the VP and CFO of Porsche Japan. We had a horrible day's weather yesterday, but it's looking brighter today. How have you enjoyed the weekend so far?
Yes, unfortunately we had a really bad weather yesterday, but today, so it's getting much better. So we are looking forward to an exciting race with Porsche Carrera Cup Asia team.
And the Porsche fans here in Japan must really enjoy all of these wonderful cars at this gorgeous circuit today.
Sure. Porsche Carrera Cup Asia is very much welcomed by Japanese fans, and we are looking forward to an exciting race today.
We're grateful to be here. Enjoy the day.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Matt.
Fabulous conditions here in Fuji, dramatically different from what we saw yesterday. Those hills in the background there, you couldn't even see them at the back end of this long 1.5 kilometer front straight. So play of the start. Watch for Martin Ragner on the right hand side of the screen. He got away and the car just lit up, it bit into the tarmac and just rocketed him to the head of this race. Chris Vanderdrift did similar things on the inside, got a good start, certainly better than what Will Bamber did. And there's the contact at the back there. That looked like Jeffrey Chang, who got fired into the inside wall. Here's from the reverse angle, Steve.
Yeah, so my early suspicions were right. Bamber just moved to the right, and as we look at this little touch at the back here, it really left an open road for Ragginger to just put time as the Porsche Carrera Cup Japan drivers. What are you seeing there? That tyre looks as if it's damaged, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm pointing at this left front tyre here, Steve, because it's
the wheel rather than the tyre. That's
yeah. That's. I would suggest that camber is not
natural.
Part of the setup of that car. Normally these cars run positive camber, so the top end of the tyre or wheel leans into the car and the bottom end flares out a little bit more. And the idea is when the car's cornering the weight.
欢迎大家来到雪邦国际赛道，参与2019年亚洲保时捷卡列拉杯的第4个比赛周末。我是本次赛季的主持人 Sammie。这个比赛周末对我们大家来说都意义非常的重大，因为即将开始的回合赛也正好是亚洲保时捷卡列拉杯历届来的第200场比赛，而且呢，赢得了这场比赛的车手们将会获得一个特殊的奖杯，以纪念他们在第200场比赛的胜利。主要呢是因为这次的赛事不仅是恰逢16年前在2003年第1次在雪邦进行的比赛，那今天早些时候的排位赛呢，我们也看到了车手们的表现都相当的稳定，尤其车手欧天耀在排位赛中获得了他第1次在赛季上的绅士组排位，而专业组则由车手威廉获得了他在赛季的第2个排位开始比赛，希望他俩都能好好的利用这个优势，越挫越勇，尤其竞争非常的激烈。那今天晚上呢的第2个比赛也是一个重头戏，因为这将会是亚洲保时捷卡列拉杯历届来在雪邦第1场的夜间赛事，所以各位朋友一定要留守我们的节目，继续 关注我们的最新消息。Hello everyone and welcome to Sepang International Circuit. I'm your host Sammie and alongside with my dearest co-host Steve Dawson to bring you the excitement of the race. This week is certainly a very exciting week for all of us because the opening race of the weekend marks the 200th race of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, which also appropriately happens at the circuit which held the very first race back in 2003. And not only that, tonight, the second race of the weekend is also a milestone because it will be the first ever under lights race here in Sepang as well. So, Steve, I think this sounds very familiar to you. After Suzuka, this week adds another first to Porsche Carrera Cup Asia. So, it's definitely very phenomenal and exciting. So, Steve, now can you just brief us through how was the qualifying sessions this morning?
Well, another thing about qualifying that was also very familiar is the heat here at Sepang. Humid, very, very hot indeed. There was a slight threat, about a 30% chance of lightning, which is almost always accompanied by torrential rain in these parts, but that didn't play out. We probably will have hot, humid weather right the way through the weekend. In that qualifying session that you mentioned, Antara's Au was quickest, but he left it until very, very late. It was dramatic stuff. Yui Tan had the top time on the list for most of that half-hour session, interrupted by a couple of red flags. Au really persevered. It was a double team pole. Will Bamber managed to be the quickest driver on the track, less than a tenth faster than Martin Ragginger. The four winners that we've had this season were the four quickest drivers in that qualifying session, and the top seven are separated by less than a second. So should be a very close and a very exciting race that we've got ahead of us.
Absolutely, Steve. So all the more for you to follow the action on our official website at CarreraCupAsia.com. But before we get to that, let's take a recap of the highlights in Fuji.
Japan played host to the last round of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia, with two races making up rounds 4 and 5 of the season. Both taking place in the shadows of the famous Mount Fuji. It was Fuji International Circuit that played host to the series' two races across the weekend. Two fabulous performances from names we've become familiar with: Martin Ragginger, Chris Vanderdrift, Will Bamber, Hanprecht. Lu Wenlong was in there as well. Race 1 was won by Martin Ragginger. Thrilling battle between Chris Vanderdrift and Will Bamber. The former who held the advantage. A four-way scrap, running 3 wide down into turn 1. It was Martin Ragginger who emerged victorious. Francis Cha also stood on the top step of the podium after a dominant performance in the opening race of the weekend. In race 2, we saw more of the same. Bamber again starting on pole. Right, out there again. Drag race down to the line. Hanprecht showing himself pointing the wrong way after contact at the opening turn. That spurred on a spirited drive back through the field. Checking the flag though, it was ultimately going to be Will Bamber and Martin Ragginger and Chris Vanderdrift. Great drive from Daniel Lu Wenlong. Batin Long taking pro-am class on this.
As they went through that intricate series of points, tremendous stuff. This is certainly the best race ever.
Massive contact there between Bamber and Vanderdrift. Wheel-to-wheel contact. Bamber being launched into the air. Contact again as Vanderdrift rejoined his tag set vehicle. So the vehicle spins. Heavy damage to the right-hand side of that car. 5 laps in the box and drama has struck here in Sepang.
Awful mess down there, but they're so tight. This was.
Congratulations, Will Bamber, on your first win of the series. Fabulous race, fantastic win. So how does that feel for you?
Yeah, it's a perfect way to start the season for our new team, Team Porsche New Zealand. Stoked for the entire team at Earl Bamber Motorsport. We've been working really hard, official testing and coming in here. A lot of work as a team, so stoked to give them the victory. And yeah, perfect start to the season for us. Very different to last year, so hopefully we can keep the momentum and just keep building from here.
Right, fantastic. So can you tell us more about the race start and were your plans always to go inside on turn 1?
Yeah, the race sort of went according to plan. I wanted to stick tight to turn 1. I had a nice clear shot from P2 down to the inside. And yeah, everyone fired in down the outside and went a bit wide, so it gave me a nice opportunity to tuck in the inside and get P1. But yeah, it was tight the first few laps. Our car was coming on later in the race, so had to hold off in the first few, and then we started to get to work. So stoked for the boys, just really, really happy.
Yeah, so can you tell us about the battle, because it was a super hard-fought battle between Chris and Martin in the beginning of the race. So tell us, at which point do you feel that this race is yours?
I think actually from last year's experiences, I never know until I cross the start to finish line again to win the race. But yeah, going at the start there, the first 2 laps were really, really tricky. Like I said, our car was coming on. Theirs were really strong at the start. So yeah, I was sort of bunching up the pack and making it super tight. Same with the restart. And then after we sort of got one or two car lengths, I could just put my eyes forward and do my own thing. It was good.
Right, thank you so much, Will. Once again, congratulations, and we wish you best of luck on the next race.
Thank you so much. See you there.
Congratulations, Francis Chia. So you won the Pro-Am category. So how do you feel after the race?
Well, I'm very, very happy. I think the weekend didn't start off so well. I was a bit slow on Friday, improved on Saturday, and of course what counts is Sunday. So I'm very happy to win.
Right, amazing. Can you tell us about the hard-fought battle between Yui Tan?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, I think actually I didn't have a great start. I finished the first lap. I was down to 4th, came 3rd, 2nd, and then I had to chase Yui down. And in fact, I think I was closing in on him. And then the safety car came out, and I was a little bit disappointed because I thought I was quicker. But after the safety car, I was still quicker a little bit. He outbraked himself a little bit, and that's how I got by.
Wow, that's amazing. So how do you feel about what are your expectations on the next race after getting the first win?
Well, I don't know. Next race is Suzuka. It's a brand new circuit for me. I don't know it. But, you know, it's better to finish the first race in number 1 than number 2 or 3. So I'm very happy.
Yeah, right. Once again, congratulations, Francis. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, good morning, everyone. We are currently in Shanghai International Circuit for the official test days of Porsche Carrera Cup Asia 2019. And I'm your new host, Sammie, for the entire season. And this season, we also have a new driver, which is Peter Liao for Bamber Motorsport. He's the youngest driver on the track this year. Let's welcome him. And Peter, 在今天的这个试驾活动官方练习，你希望可以从这个练习中获得什么样的经验呢？
毕竟是第一次来参加 PCCA。所以说可以希望是了解车子的操控性，还有一些数据 data 的目前详细的内容这样子。
OK， 好，谢谢 Peter。那我们希望你在这个官方练习非常的顺利，然后也祝你在这个赛季获得非常好的佳绩。好，谢谢。So, ladies and gentlemen, so Peter has been telling us that he hopes to be able to familiarize in this practice on this track, so he will understand how better of his car functions, because this is the first time that he participates in this season. So we wish Peter all the best.